What's poppin', everybody? Back with another video. In this video, we talking Nore from Drink Champs, why the woke mob and cancel culture will not let him rebrand. So what do I mean by that? So Nore has been podding on Drink Champs with DJ EFN for quite a while. I mean, probably over, I don't know, 3 years, 4 years, maybe even longer. And all they do is give hip hop legends their flowers. You know, any hip hop artist that's legendary, they try to honor them. They'll bring them on for an interview. And that's pretty much, and they get them drunk a little bit, but that's like the premise of Drink Champs. Now, it's been going on for so many years. They've kind of covered almost all the hip hop legends that are living. So what's next? I feel like eventually they're still like digging and finding like hip hop pioneers that they can interview. But at some point, the well is going to run dry and they're going to have to pivot and basically kind of do a Joe Rogan and interview people from different walks of life, non-hip hop artists, you know, cultural icons, but in different genres, even maybe different genres of music, maybe talk to like political figures. You never know. At some point, I feel like Drink Champs will pivot into more of a broad audience and try to, like, you know, interview different people. Now, here's where the cancel culture comes in. So on Twitter, Nore told a joke. Okay, he told a joke, but it didn't go over well. He's saying it's a joke. Some people don't believe he was joking. I'm gonna take his word for it. It was a joke. So he hopped on Twitter and said, "Do we want an Andrew Tate on Drink Champs? Do we want Andrew Tate on Drink Champs?" Immediately, comments start coming in. They were coming at his neck. This person said, "Nore, get it together. Did you not learn from Kanye?" So immediately they're like bringing up the whole Kanye cancel situation. Nore even replied and said, "I did, my bad." Then Nore retweeted No Jumper footage of Andrew Tate and his brother being released from jail, and Nore put legends. So he's giving Andrew Tate props and praise, and then the whole time people going nuts, dogging, bashing Nore for giving Andrew Tate any positive credit, any compliments. This one person said, "What does he even contribute to hip hop or even people? Toxic, misogyny." So this person is referring to Andrew Tate, and Nore just like responds immediately and says, "Whoa, I was joking. But it's too late. Tons of people are just jumping on him, you know, just piling on, threatening to cancel him again. He already kind of got canceled. Well, he never really got canceled, but you know, they tried to cancel him for the Kanye West interview. Now he's almost getting canceled for even joking about bringing Andrew Tate on his platform." Then Nore jumps on Twitter and he starts showing off these photos he took with Tucker Carlson. And I guess they went out to dinner to talk business or something. Who knows? It might be an interview coming up. We don't know. But they're having dinner. He posts a photo on Twitter with a caption that says, "How come they only try to cancel me, not you?" So yeah, that's a valid question, you know. And Nore's referring to the fact that Nore interviewed Kanye West and everybody wanted to cancel him. They're saying you're canceled. And then immediately after, Kanye went on like a whole tour of doing everybody's podcast. And he went on Tucker Carlson and did a long hour-long interview or even more. And nobody tried to cancel Tucker. So Nore's trying to figure out what's the difference. Yeah, so that's a valid question Nore's asking. Like, you know, I'm wondering myself, like, why is Nore held to these like restrictions where because he's hip hop and he has a hip hop podcast, he can't rebrand, he can't pivot and do interview social public figures, and you know, he can't interview Andrew Tate, he can't interview Tucker Carlson, he can't, it's all these restrictions, he can't do this stuff or he's going to get canceled. But Tucker Carlson can interview Kanye West, and Joe Rogan he has a whole career of interviewing people with different worldviews, controversial people, offensive people to some communities, and Joe Rogan never gets canceled. You know, like he never gets canceled. Spotify stands by him and has that stamp of approval on him. And he interviews crazy whacked out people. He interviews smart intellectual people. He interviews everybody from all walks of life, from rappers to scientists, you know, fitness gurus, spiritual gurus. So many people, politicians, he interviews everybody, but he never gets like branded by the people he's interviewed where it's like, oh, you interviewed that person, so that means you're anti this and we're going to cancel you. So I'm just wondering, at some point, I feel like Drink Champs will have to pivot into a more broad audience, more outside of hip hop, because once you interview every hip hop artist, every hip hop legend, things start to get redundant and stale, and you're going to have to branch out eventually and start interviewing just celebrities, actors. I mean, they're already starting to do that. They're starting to interview actors, comedians, people that aren't like hip hop legends. But I feel like even that's going to run its course, and eventually you're going to have to interview politicians, public figures, just people that's outside the norm of what you're usually making content about. And my whole thing is cancel culture and the woke mob and the woke media going to allow that to happen? Or as soon as he interviews like, somebody like Aiden Ross or anybody that's kind of controversial, Sneakos, like if Andrew Tate, what if he interviews just pearly things? It's all these people he could interview, but if he does, they might cancel him. And then his audience might turn their back on him and be like, hey, I subscribe for hip hop. What are you doing? But I feel like in the coming years, Nore is going to have to pivot and rebrand. And the reason why I say this is because his platform is a lot different from like the Joe Budden podcast, where they're just talking about current events and hot topics and they're just chilling on the couch. Where Nore, the whole premise of his show, Drink Champs, is he brings on a hip hop legend and they get the drinks flowing, they smoking and drinking, and the hip hop artist starts telling like these candid stories, never heard before stories, about what it was like back when they were, a big rap star and stuff. So when you pivot out of that lane, it's going to be interesting to see how the audience reacts to like, what if Noriega did a Drink Champs with Andrew Tate? Would he immediately be canceled? Would the interview be immediately taken down? Who knows? But it's one of those things where at some point does hip hop become part of a prison where you can't even break out of it without ridicule? So that's just my theory. I'm just throwing that out there. Let me know what you think about this. Should Nore be able to like interview who he wants and broaden his audience and reach? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you guys on the next one. I'm out.